Hello guys, welcome back to another journaling process video. Today's video is a collaboration for Junk Journal July. So Junk Journal July is a month-long junk journal challenge to inspire you to create in your journal, and it's hosted by Meg Journals. I'll leave the link to all of that down below. I'll also link all the other videos that are a part of the collab. But Meg has come up with a prompt list that you can use if you like, and anyone can join in. And if you share any of your pages, you can just hashtag Junk Journal July to be a part of it. For today's collaboration, we thought that we would all do a video based on our favorite supplies. So I'm going to just be doing a journaling session in my journal, and I really made sure to focus in on some of my favorite supplies to use when journaling. So I'm just going to be discussing those as I go along. I'm going to be talking more about the supplies and less about the process. So you can just watch me play around with them as I chat to you about some of my favorite supplies. A lot of these you would have seen me use before and talk about before, but the first one, which I've already put down on the page, is book pages. So book page illustrations are one of my favorite things to add because they really can help illustrate or symbolize your own life moments, and they add an instant pop of color and such a charming look to the page. So you can see the one that I've added to this page. I'm using that to sort of signify the fact that we just got a little fireplace or a wood stove put into our house. So the warmth and the colors and the smoke in this image sort of reminds me of that and goes along well with that. So I love using book pages. They've always been one of my favorite things to include. The next supply that I was going to talk about, which again I've already applied to the page, is washi tape. So you can see I've added a large strip of wide washi tape along the bottom there, and washi tape is seriously just so handy. It's functional, it's pretty, and my favorites tend to be the wider tapes. I just find those really useful for adding things into the page and securing things down. One thing I really love to include are vintage items, vintage ephemera, vintage papers to my journaling because it adds decoration, but it's always really unique and it's original. Often you'll have one-of-a-kind pieces that are just really interesting to look at, and it's just a really great way to incorporate them into your journaling and sort of give them a new life and to continue to appreciate and use them. Another favorite of mine is labels, and you can see that I'm adding some to the page here. I just love using these to add little journaling spots and little titles around the page. And I think the great thing about using labels is that it can limit your journaling. So if you struggle to write a lot, you can add little pops of writing around your page using labels, and then you can fill those labels really easily because they're quite small and feel like you've filled the space and that you don't have to continue to write, if that makes sense. So if you're a little bit uncomfortable with writing, labels are a really great way to introduce more and more writing. And you also see me here adding and playing around with some linen images. So I have a variety of these. I have some that are drawn, some from my Journal With Me kits and from my Etsy shop, as well as some illustrated linens and some real vintage linens that have been scanned in. And linens, they're sort of like labels. You can use them for writing and adding writing spaces, but they're also really beautiful as backgrounds or picture frames. Envelopes are another favorite of mine to add to my pages because, again, they're just a really easy way to add more space to your journaling. So adding interaction, you can tuck things inside that you want to be hidden. So you can add some hidden journaling inside, or anything that you like that you don't want to be sort of visible as soon as you open your journal. So envelopes are really handy for hiding things, but they're also really versatile. So you can add them to your pages in so many different ways. I actually have a video all about envelopes, which I'll try to remember to link down below as well. They're just a really versatile and easily accessible material that you can use in your journaling. I've got some lined paper, and I'm just tearing this down, and I'm going to slip that in behind the envelope that I added as like a little tuck pocket. And I'm going to use that to add more journaling to this spread, and again it's going to be a little bit hidden. So lined paper is another one that I love to use. It's sort of similar to labels and linens because you can use it to add journaling and journaling spaces straight down on a page, and it can just provide you with more space on top of busier pages. So you'll see I have a lot of pattern papers in my journal that are quite busy, and I wouldn't really be able to write directly on them. So lined paper is really fun to just glue straight down on top and just to cover a section of that paper so that you have some room to write. You can see I'm adding some more lined paper inside the envelope that I glued straight down on the page, and I'm just trimming that down so that it's going to fit. And again, that's just going to give me even more space to journal. And then last of all, I'm just pulling out some of my favorite stickers. And stickers, I've got to add them as one of my favorite supplies because I really like to use them as like a finishing touch to my pages. I really like to use stickers to add little titles or little meaningful decorations or symbols. So sometimes the sticker can symbolize a certain element of the story that I'm telling or the memory that I'm writing about. And stickers are they're just so fun. They're so easy to use, and they just add a really nice little bit of interest, and it just sort of ties the whole page together. So those are my top supplies. You guys would see me use them all the time in my journaling process videos. Right now I'm just going ahead and adding my journaling into all the little sections that I left for myself. So on top of the lined paper, the linens, the labels, and inside the envelope, all of the places that I spoke about. And I'm going to show you an overview of my finished page, and you'll see that even though it's really a visual page, there's lots of decorative elements on the page. There's also lots of writing in the page as well. So some of it's visible and then some of it is hidden away, so in pockets and in envelopes. And this is just my favorite way to journal. I just always like to make the pages look nice to me and to just enjoy the process of decorating the pages, but I also like to add the written journaling wherever I can. So that is my page. I really like how it turned out. I will leave a link down below to all things Junk Journal July. Make sure you go and check out the other videos in the collaboration for even more journaling inspiration. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in my next video.